is up, YouTube? How's everybody out there doing today? I hope you guys are having a fabulous freaking day. We are not going to be talking about, sorry about the echo, by the way. Sorry about the echo. We're not talking about the vet that's behind me, which is a really bad Z06. And it is bad. Like this thing is a cool Z06. It's getting a very little mods, nothing crazy. It's got some stuff going on underneath the hood here. As you can see, look at that. We won't show you too much. Okay, good. We're going to shut it now. But pretty cool car. We're going to be doing one little mod to it, and it's out of here. But we are definitely going to be talking about the CBR today, guys. The freaking CBR up on the stand. It's going to be freaking awesome. You guys probably know what's going on here with the picture in the background. But obviously from our one previous video that you've seen, Monster Fairing has come through clutch with one amazingly bad ass fairing kit for my CBR, guys. For my CBR. Obviously, you know, years ago I had this thing wrapped a couple times from a couple different companies, and both wraps have turned out very, very nicely. Both wraps have held up very, very good. But as you guys can see, you know, it's had its fair share of abuse over the years from a previous owner, and she needs a little rectifying. She needs a little love. The good old CBR1000RR needs a little love, and man, we're gonna give her some love. We're gonna give her some love, guys. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna start installing. Well, we're gonna be taking apart this CBR, all the fairing kit. If you guys don't know anything about these 2008 to 2011 CBR fairing kits, the front nose fascia is kind of a pain in the butt to take apart a little bit. But yeah, let's get working. So we're gonna start tearing this thing apart, guys, and all you really need is Allen wrenches. That's it, just basically Allen keys to take everything apart. It's pretty simple, except for the front. The front's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's pretty simple to get this entire fairing kit off. I got it on my motorcycle stand back here, so we're good to go there. But yeah, guys, I am 100% super freaking excited to see what this freaking fairing kit's gonna look like. I'm excited. I think this Rising Sun, Japanese Rising Sun fairing kit is just gonna look just out of this world amazing on this bike. I have rendering of it in a picture, but I think in real life it's just gonna look so much sweeter. So let's get going. Let's get going. So we got the tail section off, which is kind of a pain in the ass. We got the gas tank cover off. Back in the day when I owned this bike, I ended up putting heat shielding on the tank. There's actually underneath the tank, if you look underneath the tank, there's heat shielding underneath the tank that I put on just to kind of keep the fuel cooler in the heat from the engine. This entire air box is wrapped in heat shielding. I did all this years ago in the attempt to try to help get this bike as much performance as possible. But as you can see, without me picking this all up that much, I have a lot of heat tape all around this heat box, or all around this air box, to keep as much heat from the engine away from that air box as possible. When I was taking things apart here, I discovered something. This is kind of a dangerous thing, but if you don't know anything about Hondas, the new CBRs have this KYB, I think it's a KYB electronic stabilizer. So as you can see, this electronic stabilizer stiffens up as you get to higher speeds. So as you're going faster, that stabilizer stiffens up the handlebars. That way you don't get tank wobble. At slower speeds, like, you know, 20, 30 miles an hour, it's a little bit loosey-goosey. That way you can make turns easier and turn the steering wheel easier and stuff like that. So as I was taking things apart, I noticed there's a lot of slop in my steering stabilizer, and I come to find out that under here, this bolt, or this nut right there, hopefully you guys can see that, this nut right here is loosey-goosey. God only knows how long it's been like that, but yeah, that's sketchy. I've got two 10 millimeters here. I'm gonna obviously tighten this up and make sure that's good to go. We don't want this thing to get tank wobble and have an issue. I've seen that before. It's very sketchy, not fun. So let's tighten that down, and then we're gonna start taking our mirrors off and our side and underbelly fairings off then as well. All right, so as you can see, we got a lot of other pieces off. Got our side fairings loose here. We are ready for the front fascia. So the front nose on these CBR1000s, these 08 to 11s or 08 to 12s, they actually come off as one whole unit, and you got to unplug the headlights from the harness, and they actually come apart like as one big unit. So they're kind of interesting, not gonna lie. But basically what you do is there's a harness down there. We're gonna you know, we're just gonna take the harnesses off and we'll show you after it's done. Actually, maybe we'll just put the camera right here. There we go. And you guys can see what the heck I'm actually talking about here, because it is kind of a pain in the ass to do by yourself. Oh, there we go. And then we have our main harness. We got a couple main harnesses down here, but as you can see, it literally just falls off the front of the bike. It's crazy. Let's get this completely off, and then we can take our side fairings off. All right, there you go. So that's pretty much the entire freaking nose cone of the bike right there, which is kind of funny and crazy all at the same time. Obviously my one side fairing, this all goes together as one piece. Your intake ducts and all that stuff go together as one piece here. We'll put this over here for right now because we don't need it. That there. Same with this side here. It's basically just going to kind of come off. There we go, that one's off. We'll put this over here and just let that sit for right now because we don't need to mess with it. But then all that's left is that bottom fairing, so let's get that off next. And there you have it. It's completely stripped down fairing wise, CBR1000RR. As you can see, these things have a little bit more to them than just a regular bike. I think these honestly these CBR1000s are just a little bit more of a pain in the ass to pull apart than most other bikes. I could be wrong, correct me in the comments if I am. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna inspect everything here. It looks like we're missing a bolt up here on the radiator. Looks like there's a bolt missing up there. So we need to fix that, put a bolt in there so that holds steady. Radiator tubes look good, headers look good. I just did an oil change on it, so I know I don't need to do another oil change on the bike. I know it's good to go there. Radiator looks good. Yeah, there is supposed to be a bolt in there. We're gonna find a bolt for that. It's gonna be an 8mm bolt, kind of like that with a washer on it. Everything else looks, oh, we're missing an engine bolt there. Look at that. We might not be able to put these fairings on today, guys. We need broken pieces here. They're broken. We need to replace them. So we're missing an engine mount bolt, which is gonna look like this here. So we need to take this one out and support the engine while we find another engine mount bolt. That's kind of sketchy. Definitely one engine mount bolt. That's a very important thing. These brackets here are broken. They go to these here. They're little L brackets. They're made out of plastic. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Amazon and I'm going to see if they make metal replacement ones, because these plastic ones break all the time. And I don't like that. I want to make sure this thing's good to go when I put it back together again. But we're going to check the fluid too. I just did brakes on this thing, so it shouldn't need any of that attention. Obviously tightened up my steering dampener, so that's good to go. That won't make me wreck and die, which would be nice. Don't want to die, that'd be fucking bad. I got my horn up front here, which has been in there for a long time and still works fine. And everything else looks hunky-dory for the most part. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna find these replacement parts that we need for this thing and go from there, honestly. I don't want to put this thing back together half-assed, to be honest. I always like to do things correctly. I always like to do things right. And I feel that if I put this bike back together in its current state, I feel that I won't be happy with it. You know what I mean? I feel like you guys wouldn't be satisfied with the video because the bike is not 100%. Now that I'm seeing we have issues like, for example, that engine bolt, we definitely need that engine bolt in there. That is a very important thing to have. That engine bolt needs to be in there. Even if I need to drill that mount out and put a nut on the backside, I'll do whatever I got to do. But I think the threads look okay. I think the bolt just fell out or something. So I'm gonna have to get another bolt for that. That's important. Honestly, if the bolt was there, I probably would put this thing back together and just squeeze these in when I got them. But just so you can see what the fairings look like. But I'll be honest with you, I think anybody on YouTube is going to agree with me, but we need to do this correctly before we put those beautiful monster fairings on this bike. Right there. If you're local to Terry Hill at all, and you have a CBR1000RR and you want some beat up, you know, slightly beat up, custom wrapped fairings, you can have these if you're in the area, near the shop or anything. Hit me up in the comments or email me, diabloformula@hotmail.com. And I mean, they're a little scratched up and stuff like that. But if you have a CBR1000, you want a nice set of decent looking fairings. I mean, they're still in decent shape. They need a little help. That little crack there, but that doesn't matter because your mirror sits on there. But if you want these fairings, you're more than welcome to them. You can come grab them up. They're free of charge. I'm not going to charge anything. Just come get them. You can get them, because if not, they're going to go in the dumpster. I'm going to throw them out. So if you want them, hit me up, diabloformula@hotmail.com. Let me know if you want them. You can come get them. But yeah, I think we're going to let this bike sit for right now. And I think we're just going to make sure we do this right the first time, because I am all about doing things right the first time and not half-assing shit. I know you guys were excited to see these monster fairings go on, and these things are going to look super, super duper freaking dope. Super duper dope on the bike, but I can't justify doing it when there's other problems wrong with the bike that I need to address. And I haven't seen this bike in about 3 years, so I'm glad I'm finding these now, because I definitely, you know, when I do start riding this thing again, I 100% don't want to have any issues or any problems with it, because it's just going to make matters worse for me riding. Riding a bike's very dangerous, so you want to make sure everything's hunky-dory and everything's good to go, and you don't have any issues at all with suspension, with engine mounts, with stabilizers, because you're on 2 wheels, and it's extremely, extremely dangerous, guys. Well, guys, that is it. The entire fairing kit is off, as you guys can obviously see. A few mentions that I want to mention here is I still have this beautiful headache rack from Move Bumpers that I need to put on the truck that I haven't gotten to yet. Eventually a video will be coming for that. I so promise you guys. Just been busy around here. Just been busy around here at the shop, obviously. And obviously I talked about this in one of my last videos. We have the quick covers. I think it's called OAM quick covers. We have them as well, and we're going to be installing these on the truck, but I definitely need to get them painted first. And I think these are definitely going to raise the value of the truck, of the Duramax that I have, and it's going to just be a nice little addition to be able to not have that rust down at the bottom. Actually, we'll go out back, we'll show you it real quick here. Show you what I'm talking about. In case you've never, ever seen my videos before in your entire life, and you're not subscribed, which I highly recommend that you do, and you're not notified, bell clicked on, and all that bullshit, I highly recommend that you do as well. But here's my Duramax. My kid's starting it. But yeah, we have nice rusty rockers right here, and cab corners. And what those covers do is they cover that up, make it look nice and pretty again, and we never have to worry about that at all, which is freaking awesome. There's still going to be rusty underneath, but you know, who cares? Who cares? It looks cool. So the very next video that you guys are probably going to end up seeing out of this channel is the installation of the monster fairings that are sitting back there, the Rising Sun, Japanese Rising Sun flag monster fairing set that I have on the good old CBR1000RR, guys. It's going to be freaking spoofy. It's gonna be freaking awesome. It's gonna look really, really good. As you know, I still got a few things to fix. One of them being I just found this out as well. That's broken, so now I got to fix that as well. So I'm gonna make a new piece of metal and just make that properly work. And I obviously need that bolt down there, and then a few other things. I'm gonna check over the bike thoroughly and just make sure everything's good to go, and make sure it's, you know, what it's supposed to be, and it's not gonna give me any issues once I put it all back together again. So there you go, guys. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Instagram, Diablo Formula Racing. And as always, guys, deuces.